I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. What's going on, Jeromes? We are back. Happy Friday out there. It's Jerome's daily live stream. What's going on? A couple minutes late because we're rendering a video, and I don't know what it is. It may just be like CPU usage, but whenever we're rendering a video on Adobe Premiere while streaming, for some reason it interrupts the stream. So, yeah. We're just out here cranking out content for the masses, but so anyways, happy Friday out there. Again, live streams on Fridays, 9 a.m. Central Time, because Andy likes to get out and enjoy the day, except probably not today because, well, we'll see if the Vikings go through with the scrimmage, which is supposed to take place this afternoon, historic US Bank Stadium. Yeah. And then also Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Central Time. It's always a good time if you're new to the stream, new to the channel. What this is, it's basically a daily hour, but really 45 minutes, but really more like 32 minutes of Vikings talk. We got some Q&A, usually some random life stuff. So it's fun. It's super chill. Super non-political, super just whatever. Live chat, you guys are the best. We'll do a couple shout-outs here in a hot second. Thanks for coming along and making us part of your day. A couple of housekeeping things. So down below, Teespring store, they got the Thug Life Capology Thug Life shirt for legal reasons, yes. As well as check out our Discord. We have 141 Jeromes on the Discord, right meow. It's a good time, as well as purplefgw.com/support. All of our great sponsors, help them, help yourself, by the way. We got 10% discounts at Onnit, as well as Lisa Mattress, and a couple of other win the day, enjoy yourself type sponsors, if you know what I mean. So check that out, purplefgw.com/support. All right, so what do we got going on? Oh, also, so we have the link to the Survivor as well. So Survivor Pool, Jerome Survivor Pool. We got 120 people in right now. $100 in Purple for the Win gear to the winner. Last person standing. So it was a good time. All right. So let's see what we got going on. All right. So the Vikings practiced yesterday. A lot of teams didn't. As well as the Vikings are scheduled for one half of football scrimmage at US Bank Stadium. I'm just keeping an eye and seeing if there's any updates. Seems like everything's going to be good to go. But you never know right now. All right, so here, let's get into questions. So normal Q&A as well as the add-on. How are you spending the final 2 football-free weekends? Let's see, where are we doing? So the kid goes to kindergarten next week, so that's exciting. But this weekend, so we're doing this very slow like erosion remodeling one of our bathrooms. And we're just doing it piece by piece, doing the work ourselves. So I'm going to be replacing a toilet this weekend, as well as changing out a vanity, which I've done a toilet before. It's pretty easy. I haven't done a vanity, but it seems pretty straightforward. I think it'll just be a little bit annoying getting the old one out and then changing out the piping and the drain and whatnot. But it shouldn't be too hard. So I'm doing that this weekend, which will be fun, as well as. God, what are we doing next weekend? Oh, probably keeping track of the 53-man roster cuts. That's probably what we're doing. All right, so into the Q&A. George St. Baptiste, our finest Riley Reefs and 2 first-rounders to the Jaguars for Yannick and Miles Jack. Not 2 firsts, but Reef and a first for Yannick and Jack. Could you include Anthony Barr in the trade? Reef, Barr, and a 3 for Yannick and Miles Jack. I'd be in on that. I would. Laces out, Dan. Do you think we could get a first from the Dolphins for Dalvin? I think it's a possibility we could, and the Finns are just bad enough we could possibly turn that pick into Trey Lance or Trevor Lawrence. It's possible. I actually think, let's see here. The Dolphins have some draft capital from the Texans still. Oh, by the way, Josh Klein, hashtag sources. Josh Klein is definitely still in the mix for the Vikings. Probably an in-season deal. So, all right. Oh, yeah. They still get a 1 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your booty on the floor. Miami. All right. So they have Houston's 1 and 2. They have a 6 sent to Houston in the deal. Also, they get a 6th and a 7th. Damn, Gina. We even outlined that during the offseason, while there's some big consternation during the Dalvin talks, that the Vikings should be approaching Miami. I mean, Dalvin is a Miami area resident, as well as, the Dolphins do have a need a running back, even though they got rid of Kalen Ballage, ended up trading him to the Jets. I don't believe in Matt Breida. I don't believe in Jordan Howard. I don't think they do either. So I think a 1 for Dalvin would make a lot of sense. I mean, they could even include Houston's 1, as Houston projects to do a little bit better than the Dolphins this season, and I would be okay with that. Because I was inverted. Now, this is just a thought, but why don't the Vikings sign Gerald McCoy right now? He's hurt. Take a 2-year deal. Oh, throw an IR, give him a rehab, learn the playbook. Well, I think that people are just in love with the memory of Gerald McCoy because he used to be really good, all pro, all world, all everything, but he wasn't good last year in Carolina. He probably wasn't going to be good even if he was healthy this year in Dallas. So, nah. Jerome Jabroni, what's your personal best fish? And what would be most surprising for Vikings? So, like, size? I've never, so I've been fishing ever since I was a kid, sort of intermittently off and on, but I never got in trophy fishing. So every fish that I catch, we eat, unless it's something weird, but or if it's something too small. But yeah, I've never gotten into muskie fishing, even though I would try to eat a muskie. I feel like actually I'm sure people do eat muskies. Eat muskie. Eating sacred musky flesh is only acceptable after trying everything short of artificial resuscitation. Blah, blah. Oh, Pat Durkin. Pat Durkin's great if you follow Meat Eater. Let's see. I feel like it would just taste weird because I feel like if they were good eating, yeah, Pat Durkin's a Packers fan, but don't hold that against him. I feel like if muskies were good eating, there would be a tradition of eating muskies. There's a reason why we eat walleye, right? After all, musky fishing. Yeah, but I understand the appeal of fishing for muskies. They're these big physical fish. I get it, but I don't know. I did catch a big northern and a big walleye when I was a kid, except I don't know the size. What would be more surprising, Vikings 2-14 or 14-2? 2-14, pretty easily. Even with the tough schedule, I feel like the Vikings are constituted to do well in this weird COVID season. Montreal Screwjob. I hope the Vikings have a package that will see Barr kick down to end, Harrison Smith move down to outside linebacker. Are there any special packages you'd like to see? Any ones that get Troy Dye on the field, as well as potentially Hercules Mataafa. Yeah, I feel like Troy Dye is super talented. As well as I think he could be a potential Anthony Barr replacement down the line. So that'd be pretty great. Next up is Evan Castonguay. My final 2 weeks are being spent at a cottage. I'm Canadian, so if you don't know, a cottage is basically home on a lake or where you do water activities. Yeah, so it is interesting because Canadians as well as Wisconsinites, they say cottage as opposed to Minnesota here in real America. We say cabin. Got a cabin up north. But up there it's cottage. It's weird. My question is, do you think Josh Klein has a job with an NFL team at the start of the season? If so, what are some possible teams? Yes, and it's the Vikings. That is all. The movie Super Troopers, his Canadian thing reminded me of this. So I put off seeing Super Troopers 2. I heard that the reviews weren't great. I finally watched it last week. It's pretty good. It's pretty delightful. I like Will Sasso and the two other guys as the French Canadian. It's good. But I remember when Super Troopers came out because the original OG Super Troopers, frankly, is one of the best comedies of all time. And I remember as a kid, so this was still in the early days of the internet. And I remember this is one of the first movies I followed. This is one of the first movies watching the trailer for. And because I remember it got delayed a couple times, but eventually it was in theaters. Now, I saw it at the Rochester Galleria Theater, which is in downtown Rochester, Minnesota. So the Galleria is like this sort of downtown mall. It's like whatever. The theater's closed now. And also, I believe most of the building is part of the University of Minnesota Rochester campus now. Go Raptors, which is a dumb name. Like, if you're gonna go with UMR Raptors, all right. So University of Minnesota Raptors. They went with it and with the Eagles, and they're depending on people understanding that Raptors is also a term for birds and whatnot. But go with the Velociraptor, go full on dinosaur. I mean, come on, man. What teams out there actually have dinosaur mascots? Like I know the Vikings for a hot second had a dinosaur mascot, and no one really batted an eye. Like in the late 90s, early aughts, they just had this guy, a Victodorus Rex. But which sports dinosaur? But what teams out there actually have a legit dinosaur mascot? I don't think any of note. So if you were the full-on Raptors and went full Velociraptor on the B, not only be awesome, it would really set you apart. Because, I mean, how many schools have a bird mascot besides all of them? Well, it's either bird or wildcat or some sort of feline. So stupid. And what I was saying? Oh, Super Troopers is good. That's all. Hey, let us know where you're watching from in the live chat. Give a couple shout outs. I always love doing that on this blessed Friday. Getting out and enjoying the weekend. Also, so if you're here in Minnesota in the Twin Cities, a lot of things going on. But also it rained, which is great because it has been hot as ass lately. So that's going to cool things off. And also, I will take negative 20, which we get often here in Minnesota, over 90 with 100% humidity. I just like cold because you can always get warm. You can always bundle up and get warm. But outside, obviously you can be inside in air conditioning or you can hop in the pool. But other than that, if you're just outside, you can't do anything. Just can't. Next up is Blake Kettler. Are you into Thai food? If so, any places you recommend? I'll be spending them. All right. So Thai food. I like Thai food. Can't really remember like actively seeking it out. There's a couple of good ones in the cities. I don't remember their names though. But I don't even know if they're still open because reasons. I like Thai. Love pad Thai. Love Thai noodles and whatnot. But love Korean more, love Vietnamese more, obviously love Japanese more, but yeah. I'll be spending them with my mom as she heals from knee surgery. Good vibes out to her. So recently got into your videos, so we have been watching your stuff as we wait for football to start. Hey, that's awesome. Shout out to Mama Kettler. Ice up, son. Yeah, we need that knee good to go, just in case we need to replace Pat Elflein or something. MIT 03. Aaron Rodgers, career interceptions, 84. Sean Manning, career picks, 3. I think it's obvious which one is better. Wait, Rodgers really has 84 career picks? Like, he is famous for low numbers of picks because homeboy doesn't take any chances with the rock. What? No shit. Well, except he's been playing for... Yeah. So Rodgers has been a full-time starter for 13 years. If only I could count. God, that doesn't do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 years. All right. This had in year 13. 84. It's crazy. All right. Next up is Charlie Boltman. I'm in Tokyo, Japan. I'll be here for the next month. I'm completely codependent. My girlfriend's ability to speak Japanese and codependency is a very new experience for me. What's one thing that makes you feel out of your element? One thing that makes you feel out of your element. So, I've never gotten into like corporate speak, or I never felt the desire to get into like the corporate rat race. So I have a lot of friends who do the cubicle 9 to 5, trying to be and respect, just not really my bag. So I do feel it because I've always had an entrepreneurial bent. I've always started companies. I've always worked for myself. I made a joke that so during the quarantine, the Rona, everyone's working from home. It's like, you adopt, huh? You were adopted by the working at home, but me, I was born in it, molded by it. It's like I haven't worn pants on a weekday since 2006, basically. So feel out of your element. So when they start talking about like vertical integration and synergy and this and that, about like I'm just like, man, like I do get it. There's a human need to climb hierarchies and stuff like that, but I just never had the desire to sit in traffic for an hour each direction, go to a job that I hate for a boss that I want to murder, and then for a bottom line that I don't see just because I've put myself in just enough debt where I can't quit, but I feel like I'm getting ahead sort of deal. Yeah. Any concerns about Afadi's quiet camp? No, he's been looking really, really damn good. I'd expect a lot more noise going against Riley Reef. It's mainly, you'll notice that the tenor of the media coverage has changed because they've quietly adjusted what the media is allowed to report on and what they aren't. Like, it really has gone full on KGB. I'm not just talking about the Vikings, I'm talking about league wide. What do you think about his first 4 matchups this season? Bakhtiari, Costanzo, Luan, Tunsil. Who are these slappies? Like, who are these left tackles that you speak of? Nah, he'll be fine. He'll be these guys on island. So bring it. It's a great test. I mean, because it's not like he's going to be able to cherry pick left tackles. Nick Doroff, fantasy football drafts. What are some of your weirdest questions you have been asked? Oh, fantasy football drafts is next 2 weekends. What are some of the weirdest questions you've been asked? Are there any that you won't answer? I don't think there's been any like weird questions. Nah. All right, any you won't answer? Probably not, but I don't know if we get like too deep into like family, like what is your daughter's list of fears and class schedule? That might be a little bit too much. Yep. Ben Weatherly. Have the Vikings even tried Ezra at tackle, or are they just trying him at guard? They did have those mythical 2 snaps on Sunday with him at left tackle, but I think the logic, and I understand it, I don't agree with it. I think their logic is, what's the best way to possibly get Ezra on the field? It's probably going to be one of those guard spots if Dozier or Collins or Elflein falter. Again, I don't agree with it because I think, well, Ezra's only played left tackle in college. I think he is the future left tackle of the Vikings. So why detour and stump his progress for a year just by dicking around with him at guard? Nah. So here are a couple shout-outs. Let's see. Eric Hansen Skull from Arlington. What is up? Gotta take off. Watch Wrestling on Demand. Have a great weekend, Jeromes. Have a great weekend, bro. I do basketball. Skull from St. Paul. What's going on? Zaria Anderson Skull from Rice, Minnesota. Lots of Asians live there. Where is Rice, Minnesota? I found that I do have a thing for maps. Like, I will find myself sometimes just on Google Earth, just looking at maps. As weird as it sounds. All right, it's north of St. Cloud. Not even in Rice County. It's crazy. All right, there. Bryce Farringer, Toronto. What is up? The 6. Zach Ballascore from Northern Colorado. What's going on? Charlie Boltman, schools typically don't have dinosaurs because of religious beliefs. I think that's reading a little bit too much in it. Like, some state school doesn't have a dinosaur mascot. I don't know, because they're awesome. I think what it's been is that, like, schools generally pick their mascots decades, if not hundreds of years ago. And they're like, I don't know, what's good? A bird? A cat? They give a Native American name, except then that probably doesn't age well. Ben Schittler. Ben Schlitter. Wilmer, Minnesota. What's going on? Love the daily uploads and live streams. Fun to listen to at work. Hey, thank you for grinding out there, man. Andrew Hansen score from Larrabee, Iowa. What is up? Tommy Johnson with 1M. Man, is my eyesight going? Shit. Skull from Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha's a great town, by the way. It is a lot of fun. It's more than just the College World Series and Warren Buffett. Really is a good town. Mr. Dope, Skull from Cali. Delusion, what's the one spice you couldn't really cook without? Also love the Discord. Well, if you take away salt and pepper, probably garlic powder is the one I use the most. Also, Delusion mentions that his brother's marrying a cheesehead in 2 weeks, which I think is fine. See, sports is is just trivial enough that I feel like a marriage, intermarriage, I guess for lack of a better term, in between people of different fan bases. I feel like that's a lot of fun. I feel like add some spice. Maybe I should turn my wife into a Packer fan, just for shits. Mordecai Skull from Arlington as well. What's going on? What is up? All right, next up is Kyle Rippetrop. Going clay pigeon shooting with my dad and brother to get ready for pheasant season. Are you going pheasant hunting this year? It's possible. My father-in-law really enjoys pheasant hunting because the Minnesota pheasant season is late, right? We have Sandhills cranes. Oh no, like not that late. So, but it goes late. All right. So October through January. I guess. We're going deer hunting. No archery this year, just boomstick. So that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, should be fine. Although I do want to get a different shotgun because I only have 12 gauges, and those are less than ideal. Like my arm is gonna fall off. Yeah. But it's possible. I haven't gone pheasant hunting in a number of years, but I know that it's fun and pheasant's freaking delicious. Eric Hansen. Gonna try smoking some ribs on my charcoal smoker tomorrow. Woo! I never attempted before. Any advice you can give me? All right, so charcoal smoker. All right, so I'm guessing it's offset. Just watch your temp. Watch your temperatures. Make sure that's pretty low. You see stuff about ribs about like the 3-2-1, wrapping method. I generally don't wrap my ribs. I cook them at a low enough temperature that, you're perfectly fine. Also, I think it's like an ethnic thing because I actually think that Asians like a little bit more gnaw for their chaw, in terms of like things like ribs. So I actually do, like ribs that, aren't fall off the bone, but are more peel off the bone. So I'm perfectly fine with that. Sounds like jerky, by the way, like chewy jerky versus like, soft jerky. Nah, like Americans like soft jerky. Give me the jerky that's cut, like, not cut against the grain, but with the grain. So you got long strands of sinew. So watch your temp. Make sure that your fire is burning clean. I'll have a water pan, in there, and just get after it. Ben Weatherly, is Elfline playing good or defensive tackle's not playing good? That's the chicken or egg. But I have heard that Elfline's been really solidifying himself at right guard, which he should have been playing last year, by the way. But nah. I kind of like how BB was so good against the cornerbacks last training camp, spending the last football-free weeks waiting for football. It's a good way to roll. That's a good point about BB. It's like Zimmer's gushing is like, well, no one can cover him in practice. Like, well, maybe there's a reason for that. Oakview, follow-up from last video. Kirk and JJ are on waivers in my league. Pick him up, especially Jefferson. Also, Andy is a disrespectful that Fitzgerald didn't get picked up by anyone and is lower rated than the rookies. After all, he made the top 100 list. I don't know why no one picked up Fitz in your league. because he will put up numbers just because of the Arizona juggernaut. Well, passing wise, as well as Arizona's going to be playing from behind a lot. So Kyler's going to put up some stats. Like I guess maybe people are concerned that his value will be depressed by adding Nuke, as well as Christian Kirk is still a stud out there. Maybe Andy Isabella steps up. But I think Larry's value, which it has been for the last couple of years, been operating great from the slot. Going to put up a ton of catches, have the odd touchdown there. So I think he'll still have value. But it's just like anything. Like people want the shiny objects more. Like people all in on Ruggs, people all in on Judy, people all in on even like Hamler. But I wouldn't be shocked if Larry has better fantasy numbers than all three of them. Yeah. Pulford Sculpt. Trade Abdullah, Sharp, and BB to the Niners for McKinnon one time. They might even just cut McKinnon, so might not even have trade anything. Here's our finest wide receivers and service running back for one I never use. I'll be working the last 2 football-free weekends, but I'm going to day shift so I can get off by halftime. There we go. Rock and roll. Preach Paul, hauling it for all y'all. Working, nothing changed for me. Thank you, Andy. Yeah. Paul out there burning up the highway is why we can't have things. Like all the truck drivers. Like I understand. They can be annoying on the highway sometimes, but also think about how annoying you are to them too. And also, everyone's ordering everything from Amazon. How do you think stuff gets from point A to point B? Yeah. Pulford Skull. Seahawks worked out Kyle Jerome Sluter on Thursday. They best not sign him. It's going to matter of fact. I feel like teams are using Sluter for information because you look at the Lions. The Bears reportedly had him in for a tryout. Seahawks. Well, is that true? Seahawks schedule a quarterback with Kyle Sluter and Justin Hardy. Well, I always take quarterback workouts with a grain of salt because if they're trying out other positions, notably receivers, tight ends, or running backs, you need someone to throw to them, and it's not like you're going to have one of your own quarterbacks throw. So a lot of the times, the quarterback tryout is just kind of we need an arm sort of deal. But since the Vikings are on Seahawks schedule this year, I wouldn't be shocked if that isn't pumping for some information. Charlie Boltman. Curtis Weaver is a perfect example of why the Vikings shouldn't waive Wanham, Lynch, Clark, or Hinton. Dolphins try to get cute. Now Weaver is a Brown. Keep 2 tight ends. I don't consider 3 safeties because so what happened with Curtis Weaver, edge rusher from Boise State, fell in the draft, and the Dolphins. So they injure waived him. So they put him on waivers with an injury designation. If no team claimed him, he would have reverted to their IR. But I mean, Brown snatched him up. I think it was a smart move. I think they did end up putting him on IR, but just having Weaver's rights for future seasons. I mean, obviously, Andrew Berry and Stefanski liked him. So I think it's smart. And yeah, that is the major concern is that the Vikings, especially on the defensive line, I think they may have to cut either Wanham or Lynch. I think it'd be smart if they carried 10 defensive linemen and took a shot, as well as offensive line. I would rather cut Rashad Hill or Brett Jones and then try and get him back on the roster week 1. Take your chances there, as opposed to letting go an Udo, letting go a Samia, letting go a Hinton, definitely letting go a Brandel. So, yeah. Ike 09Y. Purple Rain, speaking of Arizona, R.I.P. Lou Dolson. Yeah, Lou Dolson, passed away. Sad. So I didn't know he got a start here in Minnesota. Coached some local high school teams, played college ball at Augsburg, but great college basketball coach. Multiple Final Fours, won a natty with Arizona. Because remember, Arizona with Mike Bibby and A.J. Bramlett and Miles Simon getting after like Gilbert Arenas before he went nuts. It's great. So R.I.P. Ike 09Y, very busy with crap ton of electrical work on houses. Of all like the home improvement stuff, I like electrical the best because my grandpa was an electrician back in the day. So from a young age, I learned about wiring houses, wiring things, and for some reason, I always thought that seems less like work as opposed to drywalling or painting, which. But electrical stuff is more fun. In your opinion, what position do you think is the best in training camp? Best in training camp. Which Vikings position is the best? A linebacker. Vikings go pretty damn solidly 4 deep at linebacker. That's certainly up there. Running back, also super deep. Wide receivers probably. All right, so looking at the map, because I do know that there was some crossover between Chiefs and Vikings fans, but also Super Bowl IV, so F them right in the face. And I guess the closest AFL team would have been the Broncos. So maybe, so what year did the Broncos come in? Because the Vikings came in before the merger. Well, hell, Super Bowl IV was the last Super Bowl before the merger. So they came in 1960, so a year before the Vikings. So if you're in Minnesota and, the Vikings are on their way, but there's 2 competing professional football leagues, the National Football League and then the American Football League. So you got the Broncos, which is the closest AFL team. So, maybe you bring that in. Maybe there were some Broncos games on the radio and on TV. In Minnesota for some reason. So I guess maybe. Plus, I suppose it is one of the closer AFC teams. I'm just thinking of modern terms. And also screw the Chiefs, right in the face still. So I guess maybe there's crossover. And also, I never minded the Broncos. I always kind of liked the Broncos. Like John Elway before he became Gary Busey. I was like Terrell Davis. Shannon Sharp was a stud. Rod Smith, Mark Schlereth, that offensive line, Tom Nalen, of course, Kubiak connection. John Mobley. John Mobley was a mofo. Steve Atwater hit a dude so hard in the Super Bowl, hit a Packers player so hard in the Super Bowl, he knocked out the Packers player and one of his teammates and himself. That's great. Ed McCaffrey, father of Chad Beebe. It's really good. Also, I do like the Broncos now. I don't like Drew Lock. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by their offensive line. I like their parts. Obviously, hasn't come together yet. Well, I think Garrett Bowles is one of the worst left tackles in the game. I think he was an absolute bust of a pick. I didn't understand it at the time, but love Dalton Reisner. Love Cushenberry. Glasgow's a stud. Yeah. Who else on the offensive line? Oh, Nathani Moody. My man. Maybe this offensive line does suck. I just like Reisner, Cushenberry, and Moody. That's also possible too. But yeah, look at these weapons. So they got Fant, they got Sutton, who in my mind is emerging as one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. They got Judith working from the slot. They got KJ Hamlin when he's not hurt. Oh, they got Deshaun. Shit, there's a lot going on there. Yeah, Philip Lindsay and the corpse of Melvin Gordon. Oh, my guy, Levante Bellamy from Western Michigan, rowed the boat. It's perfect in the zone scheme. I'm surprised the Vikings didn't go after him. But, yeah, I've always been okay with the Broncos. I was like Colorado, too, for, reasons. But, yeah. All right, so I believe that was it, right? All right, that is it. That is the Daily Jerome's live stream for a Friday. A couple of housekeeping things. Enjoy your weekend, first of all, as well. Oh, I disappeared. purplefduty.com/support. Join the Discord. Join the Survivor. Everything. Have yourself a great weekend. Stay safe. Make smart decisions. We'll see you Monday, 11 a.m. Central Time. Skull, production value.